I'm in this beautiful and empty landscape. Alone. Well, alone enough. Only a short walk from the action zone. Solitude is the stuff. Something I enjoy at this empty landscape. A bit of self-reliance. Where the wind and what it moves is my date. The sounds of silence. The Unrally is something I have looked forward to participating in every year for the last few years. My motorcycle, my truck, my trailer, cameras, a book, it's paradise. I'm glad to be finally here, and I'm really here. Just 2 weeks before the weekend of this video, I was at the 2023 Giant Loop Ride event. Now I'm on my way to the Unrally. Two events that could not be more different from each other, except that they are both in Oregon and they are both organized by people who work to offer accessories to improve the adventure riding experience. Both events are based on Oregon, legendary locations, surrounded by miles of all kinds of great dirt riding roads, but that's where the similarities end. The events themselves propose completely different ways to gather people and their motorcycles. No matter the differences, both are events I enjoy attending. But the Alvord Desert, where the Unrally is located, this is a special place for me. I'm thankful to have met a legend, the guy who coined the Giant Loop name, the annual ride he used to organize between Bend, Oregon to Nevada's Black Rock Desert and back, a giant loop around the Oregon-Nevada Great Basin. The Alvord Desert was an important stop on the loop, a special place for Dave. I was stunned by this location when I saw it for the first time in 2006. I adopted it as a special place for me as well. I've come back to this playa a few times since I've gotten my trailer, and I think most people who ever make it to this playa will agree. It is a special place. To me, I see it like in that Eagles Hotel California song. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. For the 2023 Unrally, my only two aspirations were to explore the playa itself, its vastness. It doesn't look like it, but it is a large, empty space. The Alvord's oval shape is 6 miles wide and 12 miles long. One time I got lost in the playa. It was in September of 2019. Well, it was a dark night. I rode quite a while until I found my camp in the dark. That's a story for another video. The other aspiration for this stay, as it is always the case for me, is to document my experience and perspective of being there, making this video. I like watching the images every now and then. It seems each of the 3 Unrally events I've attended so far had a sky-based theme of sorts. In 2019, it was the sunsets. In 2022, it was the night skies. The view of the night sky is something spectacular in such a location, with its dark skies and especially under a new moon. In 2023, it was mostly about stormy skies, which were also spectacular. Before going too far, I want to thank all of you who did not mind my camera and tripod capturing your special moments. Because I never totally unloaded the truck from the Giant Loop ride, it was easy to pack for this trip, and I entered the Alvord Playa late in the afternoon. I parked in the northeast of the main area, got settled, and went to check the main area of the event. I'm not a professional photographer, mind you. My cameras are mid-range amateur-level cameras. I love low-light photography. The playa, the neon lights, people playing, the skies, those are great things that make it so easy to capture great images. No credit should be given to me or my cameras for any shots that may look great. When I went to sleep on the first night, I realized I was in a high traffic area. Several riders were riding past my trailer late into the night. So when I woke up the next day, I decided to move my camp. I found a new location, a better neighborhood for me to enjoy my quiet times. I brewed some coffee, enjoyed a book, enjoyed the sound of the wind, the sounds of silence. And then I planned my ride for the day. In 2019, in my first Unrally, I rode hundreds of miles in this area. I went north with my 790R all the way to Silver City in Idaho, and on the second day I rode my CB500X south to cross the Domingo Pass, which is part of an 80-mile loop I've created a few years ago, which starts and ends at Field Station, where you can have a burger before returning to camp. In 2023, as I mentioned before, my time in the playa was short, so I wanted to just be there. So my riding plan for the day was just to go around the playa, explore its boundaries. This time I wanted to just pay attention to the playa itself, and I think I picked a great year for that. Riding in this vast landscape can make for an introspective adventure, and it leads you to pay attention to details where, from the distance, it seems none exist. I rode about 30 miles on this ride. I started going past the camp area and went southwest from there and started a counterclock run around the playa. I love these areas in the east and northeast of the playa. Someone was camped here, look at that. I like these bushes that create mini sand dunes around them. I continued north, now I have more than 10 miles in the clock already. I finally got to the northwest side of the playa where we could still find water. This is simply beautiful. I stopped for a few shots and checked this out. See how the water moves. As mentioned before, the playa is almost perfectly flat, which allows the film of water to move around, pushed by the wind. As I was getting back to camp, I ran across this dude on a windboard on wheels. I rode alongside him for a little while, an opportunity for some great shots. Once I got back to camp, I was relaxing at my trailer when I heard a helicopter flying by. I went to check what it was all about. It's common for small, private planes to fly around the playa and actually land on it. But the only other time I saw a helicopter in this area was in September of 2019, the time I got lost in the playa. At that same event, someone I know had a little mishap in the playa and needed to be airlifted to a hospital. She recovered well, but it was quite scary after all. We have to be reminded, this area here is one of the most isolated places in the country. It takes a while for any support to arrive. In 2019, that helicopter came from Boise, Idaho. Now here in the 2023 Unrally, I don't know the details of what happened to that rider, but I was glad we had with us first responders for emergencies. The Unrally event also includes dinner. Great food is provided by the folks who ran the restaurant at Field Station. Then came the time for the famous ride out. In 2019, it was a mad race, starting from a wide lineup of riders and going straight north. Kinda crazy if you ask me. I did not ride it, but I loved being there and photographing it. The 2022 ride out was the best in my opinion, as people started from a circle, everybody riding out as spokes on a wheel. Great stuff. It offered a great visual from a top view. In 2023, people lined up on an arch. It was great and probably the safest of them all. The ride out is something I look forward to documenting every year. When the riders came back to camp, as it was getting dark, that's when it's time for the party to start. I knew only a few people who attended the 2023 Unrally, One of them was Dane, who stopped by and invited me to go on an evening ride. I suggested we went north. I wanted to check that water again. And it turned out to be a great idea. It was something else under a darker sky. And to think, this is a desert, and it was the first day of summer. Look at these scenes. It looks like a wintry scene. Check the water. It was still moving. The lake had probably moved a few hundred yards to the east since the time I stopped by in that area earlier in the day. Hello darkness, my old friend. I've come to ride with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sounds of silence. Restless dreams I ride alone, open deserts, not one stone. In the distance I can see a lamp. Toward the light I ride and find a camp. Then my eyes found the magic of the neon light that split the night and touched the sounds of silence. And in the naked lights I saw 100 people, maybe more. People talking and people laughing, people drinking and even cooking, people writing songs that voices never heard. No one dared disturb the sounds of silence. And people played and people danced, neon art on grounds arranged, and the sign flashed out its warning. In a word, the rules they normed, and they painted it in the SUV wall. This desert has no walls, and whispered in the sounds of silence. I parked the bike, got my cameras, and went to check the party that by now was in full swing. I love seeing everyone enjoying themselves, dancing and playing and talking and everything someone feels proper for them to do. It gives me a chance to photograph all of this. Thank you again, everyone. At a certain point, these dudes showed up in the central area, a 1992 Honda XL250 pulling a pizza oven trailer. It was quite the scene, and the pizza was real. I did get in line and got a slice of pizza, which was good enough. Well, it was excellent considering everything. Thanks guys, you were the best. Anyway, the party continued. I was able to take a few more photos before it was time to go back to my camp. I was sad it was a short stay for me this year, but I was so glad I came, and I was so glad I was able to take enough photos and videos that I can see again and again and relive these great moments whenever I want. Sunday morning I packed my trailer, loaded the bike. I love the convenience of this trailer to load the bike. It's ride it and tie it down. Soon I was driving back home. And just like that, it's time to go home. Another great adventure,
another 400 miles to go home.
I'm already looking forward to next year's event, hoping to have more time at the playa next year. Meanwhile, thank you for watching this video. If you watched till here, maybe you liked it enough to give it a like or subscribe to my channel. Thank you. On a dark and desert highway, cool wind in my head, warm smell of colitas rising up through the air. Up ahead in the distance I saw a shimmering light. My head grew heavy and my sight grew dim. I had to stop for the night. There she stood in the doorway and I heard the mission bell. I was thinking to myself, this could be heaven, this could be hell. Then she lit up a candle and showed me the way. There were voices down the corridor and I thought I heard them say, welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Plenty of room at the Hotel California. Any time of the year, you can find it here. So I called up the captain and I said, please bring me my wine. He said, we haven't had that spirit here since 1969. Mirrors on the ceiling and pink champagne on ice. And she said, we are all just prisoners here of our own device. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the nightman. We are here programmed to receive. You can check out anytime, but you can never leave. Welcome to the Hotel California. Such a lovely place, such a lovely face. Living it up at the Hotel California. What a nice surprise. Bring your alibi.